Good morning, guys. How you doing? And today, what I wanted to do was just talk about the difference between the Bacchus Craft series and Handmade series. As you can see here, recently I had these come in. This is a Craft Series 24 or TF Ash model. I've done a review on that. You can hear how that sounds by watching that review. There's a demonstration of it. I will be plugging these in and just playing them today just to give you a little bit of insight into the difference. Um, and then on the right of that here is this gorgeous red stained DX24. Now this is the handmade top of the range Bacchus, and it's about the most expensive. I think that's the most expensive model in the Bacchus handmade range. Um, And on the right of that, incidentally, not that it's got anything to do with the 24s, is the Bacchus standard JB5, which is also in the Craft series as well, same series as this one. Now, the main difference between the Craft series and the handmade range is the materials, is one of them. Most of the Craft series are imported woods. And usually the body is in three-piece construction, although sometimes in two-piece construction. It depends. For example, this one over here is a three-piece construction, and this one here, if I look at it, yes, this is also three-piece construction. So basically they've got the middle and they've got the two wings put on the sides there. However, the Craft series are handmade in Japan. It's just the materials are outsourced, and often the body's a three-piece construction as opposed to two-piece or one-piece that you get in the high-end range. So now let's talk about the materials used in the neck. Again, on the Craft series, you have maple, one-piece neck. That material is, I think it's the same grade as the material used on this for the back of the neck. The fretboard itself here is hard maple, with this particular model has acrylic black dot inlays. Whereas on the high-end range, what you got there is an ebony fretboard with bone dot inlays. So the materials are definitely more expensive on that model. And let me talk about the body construction of this. This is hand-sourced light ash from Japan. It is this particular one is two-piece construction, and the grain, you can see that the grain is different on this. It has a wider grain than those of the Craft series, which have more of a busy grain. Actually, the Craft series wood is heavier. It's not light ash. So that's another difference. You will find invariably that the handmade range are lighter and therefore more comfortable to use in a professional situation. Having said that, though, the Craft series are damn good. They are really good value for money, and the price differences are fairly vast, being about difference of about $500 between models. So anyway, let's now talk about the hardware. That is another huge difference. The hardware on the Craft series is mid-range Goto, or mid to high-end Goto. Having said that, I have seen the same hardware on other brands of Japanese-made bases such as Atelier Z or Moon, on bases which are well over the $3,000 mark. So even though they are graded lower than the hardware on the handmade range, they're still used by other high-end models. So it's not to say that it's not good hardware, because it is. It does its job very well. Specifically, the model that is used on here is the Goto 203B bridge here, and the tuning heads used on that model are the Goto GB1s, whereas on the high-end handmade series or DX range, what you've got there, the bridge is Goto 404. It's the Goto 404 SJ, and the tuning heads are the Goto GB-W11s. Let's just check I got that right. Yes, GB11Ws on here. Now the main difference between the tuning heads is that if I flip these round here, you'll be able to see I'll just show you the back of this actually. These tuning heads have a smaller footprint, and they also have a torque adjustment as well, which means that you have more control over how the tuning head wears. You can maintain the tuning head better than you can on the other ones. Having said that, though, yeah, these are higher end tuning heads, and just incidentally, let's just look at the bridge. There you go. The bridge there, the Goto 404 SJ, has string through capabilities, which you don't get on the Craft series. There's no string through capabilities. Also, the saddles are more robust. They're nicely contoured saddles, so that there's less. The springs are shorter, so there's less vibration from springs, or less potential room for vibration from springs. So that's what the hardware's like on the high-end range. And just for comparison, let me show you here the Craft series again. The tuning heads on here are very good. Like I said, they're lower range than on the high end. They do not have torque adjustment. That's the main difference. The footprint is about the same size, roughly. They're not as rugged, like the casing is not as thick. However, these have been used on high-end instruments, and they do last a long time. And the bridge, it's not so clear to see because of the black body here, but the bridge is just a simple bridge. It works perfectly well, does its job very nicely. I got the action down very low on this without any problems. And actually, it is a fantastic instrument. It sounds great. It has the Aguilar preamp in it. That's the next thing. That brings me on to the electronics. Okay, so let's talk about the circuitry now between the two ranges. The Craft series is using the Aguilar OBP2 preamp. So that gives you an option for active or passive modes. In the passive mode, the preamp is disengaged, and you won't get control over your EQ. You will just have pickup, balance, and main volume. In the active mode, though, you've got control over your 3-band EQ, and you've got notch on both mid and bass. So you've got mid, cut, notch, and boost, and same for bass as well, cut, notch, and boost. So it's a nice system, works well, it's very good. I love the preamp itself, although it does sound, the Aguilar does sound a little dark to me. and also it's a little bit more maybe a little bit more transparent than the XTCT by Bartolini, which is used in the high-end range. Okay, so talk about the preamp on the high-end range now. As I said, it's a Bartolini XTCT preamp, and again, you have notch, cut and boost for mid and bass, and for treble as well. You've got a notch on the treble as well, so there's a little bit more control than you get on the Aguilar. Also, the Bartolini has more. The characteristic is a bit different. I find the sound is a little bit more. It's a little bit more solid, tighter. It's not so dark. So it depends what you prefer, really. We'll have a listen to the basses in a minute, anyway. So that's one of the other differences. And next, I'd like to talk about the pickups as well, because on the Craft series, you'll have a slightly lower grade of pickup. However, these are custom shop Bacchus pickups, and they're humbuckers, and they're very powerful. But there is no coil tap option with these, which on the high-end range, you've got humbuckers and you can coil tap them. So actually, from this bass here, you can get a regular jazz configuration if you want to, or you can go for full-on humbucking. The choice is yours, and you can coil tap using these switches here. One is to activate the preamp, the other one is to tap the coils as well. So you'll turn off the coils so that you'll end up with a regular jazz configuration when you turn the humbucking mode off and you turn it to single coil. So that's it. Those are the main differences. I think I covered everything there. Apart from that, playability wise, there is not much difference. They both feel really good. I love both of these basses. So it's really just down to what you prefer. So having said that, let's have a listen to them. First of all, I'll plug in this babe here, which again, this is the Craft Series 1, the TF Ash. Just have a little listen to this. Okay, I'm going to dial everything flat with the pickups balanced. This is passive. Okay, if I kick in the preamp, it kicks ass, right? It's too loud, actually. I'll just turn the bass down. I'll just turn everything midway, including treble as well. There's no notch on the treble. So that's everything midway and balanced. If you look at the review I did of this bass, you'll get to hear more of it. But anyway, basically, that is the flat tone you get from it, which is totally fat, I think, considering. And then after that, you can boost the bass, you can boost the mid, you can turn the treble up more. You've got you can balance the pickups. The rear pickup sounds great. pickup sound, especially with the mid and bass boosted. It's really good. Of course, the front pickup is going to give you a nice deeper sound. So anyway, let's just compare that with the high-end 24. I'll just give that a little run for its money. This one, I think you'll notice immediately you'll notice the difference in the characteristics of the preamps, because they are really quite different. Okay. So right now we're in passive mode. Nothing is active. Okay. What I'm going to do is just kick in the preamp. This is the preamp here. So that's kicked in and everything is just flat right now. So it's already got a really nice rich sound, even though the preamp is flat. If I boost the bass, boost the mid, and the general feeling of this is just it feels a bit more solid construction wise. I think the ebony fretboard and just maybe the ash is a different kind of ash. Like I said, this is light ash, hand sourced in Japan. It's really, you can feel the difference. So it's definitely, I would say, it's definitely a better instrument, no doubt about it. Let's check pickup balance. That's the rear pickup. Let's check the front pickup. Let's boost the bass with that. And okay, let's set it flat again, and now so I think I've got this coil tap, so we're in jazz mode. If I push this down, we're in humbucking mode. Listen to the difference. Humbucking mode, single coil mode, humbucking mode. You hear the difference? get a jazz bass configuration out of this, or you can get a powerful humbucking configuration out of this. So it is definitely more versatile. Yeah, personally, this has always been one of my favorite of the range from Bacchus. Um, from a cost point, I've been very pleased with Bacchus basses because they have always consistently competed with higher priced basses, and have been equally as good, if not better, in some ways. So there you go. That's the main differences between the Craft and the Craft series and the high-end handmade DX series. They are both handmade in Japan. Again, just to summarize, the main differences is slightly lower end hardware and circuitry on the Craft series. The wood is outsourced and construction is often 3-piece rather than 2-piece construction with hand-sourced Japanese wood, and higher end hardware and circuitry as well on the handmade DX range. So those are the main differences. So if you have any questions, if you want to order a Bacchus bass, I have them on sale. I deal direct with Divisor Japan. I've now been working with them since May this year, and yeah, things are going well, and yeah, I've struck up a good relationship with them, so I get very good deals on these instruments. I also endorse them and have done some demonstrations. If you want to hear this model in action, I have done an official demonstration video for Bacchus, and you can see that here on my channel as well, or you can go to you'll probably find it on Divisor's own channel too. So that is it from me today, and thank you very much for watching. And you know, from a cost point, I would give the Craft range 9 out of 10, and I would give the DX range 10 out of 10. DX is more expensive, of course. The handmade DX range is more expensive, of course, but you know, as you just heard, the tonal variety and quality of materials is definitely a bit different, and it's up. This is up there with the best of the basses in the world. So there you go. That's my verdict, and thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you again.